This is Volusia Today, a public information radio program brought to you by the County of Volusia.
Good morning, Volusia County. My name is Michael Ryan, and you are listening to Volusia Today. I'm joined today by my co-host, Heather. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. As always. We have a very special guest today that we are going to talk to in just a few minutes, but I know you had a couple news items you wanted to touch base on first.
I do, of course. All the parents out there, Volusia County Parks, Recreation, and Culture is hosting a spring break camp. So obviously aligning with the Volusia County Schools spring break, March 25th to the 29th. You can register online. It's going to be at the Boy Scouts Hut in DeLand. And the fee, I think it's only like $80 for the whole week, 7:30 to 5:30 every single day. They do group activities, they do arts and crafts, and I do think they take a field trip. So if you're looking for a place to send your kids over spring break, they can have some fun. They take campers ages 5 to 12, and you do have to be enrolled in kindergarten if you're a 5-year-old. But as a former Volusia County Parks and Rec camp counselor, highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can take the counselor out of camp, right? But
that's right.
You can't take the camp out of the counselor.
That's right.
I worked hard on that one. But we also let's touch base real quick on the state of the county. That's coming up, right?
It is Valentine's Day. What better way to spend it with your true love,
right.
Volusia County?
That's great. We've moved it this year. It is at the center in Deltona, just to give a little bit of love to the west side. It's open to the public.
It is, and you'll get to sit and learn about the accomplishments of 2023 and then kind of give a look at what's to come in 2024 from our Volusia County Council members. And it's a great event. You get to network with a lot of the people that are involved in the community. And hope to see you there. I have to be there. You're going to see me there. I'll see you there too. But if I were somebody in the public, how do I register? How do I go? Registration, you'll be able to find a link online. So volusia.org, and really volusia.org is the home for all the information you would need for anything that we're doing here at the county. I find the easiest way to navigate volusia.org is to hit that search bar at the top, look for whatever you want. Normally you're going to pull it up. It's going to be your first link right there. So volusia.org, search state of the county, and you will get the link to register.
All right, so hopefully we'll see everybody there on February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Yep, and we also do stuff on our social. So if you're listening, follow County of Volusia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We have a Nextdoor, YouTube. We've got it all. So if you want to find us, you will.
Nice. Well, let's not take up any more time from our special guest. Today we are joined by Dr. James Fulcher.
Yes,
Did I pronounce it right? Good morning.
Hello, how are you, sir?
Good. Thank you for joining us.
Happy to be here.
We appreciate you being here. You just opened a brand new facility.
Yes.
That we want to dig into that, no pun intended, deeper later in the show. But let's start off with just a little bit for those who are not familiar with you and what you do. Tell us a little bit about your background before you got to Volusia County. How long have you been here?
Sure. I've been the chief medical examiner for Volusia County for 4.5 years. I started in July of 2019. Prior to that, I was the chief deputy medical examiner of Greenville County, South Carolina, which is in the upstate towards the tip of the state. Prior to that, I was in training, fellowship residency, originally from Virginia. This has been a great move. My career in Greenville was incredible, really incredible. But when I saw this ad on the national listserv for Volusia County, I told my wife I had to apply. It's an incredible opportunity.
Yeah, well, good. We're happy to have you here.
Happy to be here.
I'm curious as how somebody grows up wanting to be a doctor,
yeah.
and then takes that career path to be a medical examiner. How does that happen?
So, I mean, if you look at, I hate to be kind of mean, but what's wrong with medicine, I don't deal with most of it. Insurance companies, for-profit healthcare, lack of access to care, all those things kind of impact my practice, but very indirectly.
Right.
I don't ask, I've never asked for prior authorization. I don't get letters from insurance companies saying I'm not treating that patient because of some obscure reason. I don't work in a career where my schedule is influenced by anyone else but myself, essentially. The only real thing I have to show up for at an exact time might be court, because I can schedule my day to allow things like this. I can do autopsies in the interim. So it's an incredibly flexible practice, which I think has incredible value.
Yeah.
So for me, it checks all the boxes. Compensation was lower. Now compensation is much, much, much higher. There is a national shortage, but it's getting better. I really can't say enough good things about the practice of forensic pathology. If there's a negative, it's really that you don't get that robust doctor-patient relationship. Some med students that I've counseled need that in their life, and they would not be happy. They would not be fulfilled as physicians if they didn't have that.
Right.
If you can break away from that, all of a sudden your life gets way easier, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
Things are better. This is an incredible job. You talk about physician burnout. No one talks about forensic pathologist burnout. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
We're happy until we retire. There's guys doing this in their 70s, and they're still tickled to be doing it.
Right.
I would challenge you to find many surgeons that are operating well into their 70s and 80s, but it happens all the time with us because the work is intellectually satisfying, but the work is approachable at a level that most people can continue for their entire life, really.
So, Dr. Fulcher, tell us a little bit about what does a day-to-day look like for your office? Not just you, but for your office.
Yeah, so for the office, so I have 24/7 coverage.
Okay.
So I have investigators that respond to scenes. They may be crime scenes, they may just be natural death scenes. They also take a lot of phone calls from hospitals, hospice, and whatnot. Our jurisdiction is very tightly defined by state law, 406, and then the code is 11G. And that defines what we take as our jurisdiction. If a case meets our jurisdiction, we investigate. We create in our database, which the county was very kind to provide for us, a list of cases for the day. Those cases are reviewed at an 8:30 a.m. morning meeting. The physicians will discuss what needs to be done with that case, and then we do autopsies. And toxicology specimens are sent out, and in the afternoon, the pathologists usually spend most of their day signing out reports, reviewing old cases, or going to court.
Okay.
That's pretty much the standard day. If you're an autopsy tech, you go into work, you prepare bodies, you work with the doctors, then you clean, and then you usually go home. If you're an investigator, you're sitting by the phone, going to scenes, taking photographs, running errands, stuff like that.
Okay.
That's fascinating. So now getting into the new building, how has that kind of changed the day-to-day?
I can tell you honestly, Heather, there is no aspect of our practice at the medical examiner's office, and I'm speaking from admin to investigation to the doctors to autopsy techs. There's no part of our daily life that's not better. Everything has been improved. Let's say you're an autopsy tech. You now have a radiograph machine, the Lodox machine, that you don't want to, strangle the machine every day. The old x-ray machine was a nightmare to use. Lots of problems. Now, what used to be hours of work is 13 seconds. Wow. You now have a morgue that has a floor that's more cleanable. You now have equipment storage that's appropriate. You now have lighting that's appropriate. If you're a doctor in the facility, all those things benefit you. If you're an investigator, you now have gear storage. You now have your own cubicle. You now have an appropriate place to release bodies. In the old building, we were releasing bodies under basically what was a carport, essentially. Unscreened from public view, bodies moving in. Now, they're in a bag, mind you, but not appropriate.
Right.
Not the look you want to have for a professional organization. In fact, completely against accreditation standards. I have maintained and continue to maintain, the only reason we lost accreditation the last time was because of our building. The building just didn't meet standards. This building does, and it allows accreditation to occur. So really, every part of our life is improved.
That's awesome.
Doctor, help me understand why accreditation is important.
So I'm a specialist physician operating a very scientifically and forensic science driven practice. No one in this county can evaluate what I'm doing adequately. So this is expert, medical examiner driven, outside, unbiased evaluation and eventual endorsement of my office's practices, my office's procedures, the physical plant, the quality of the physicians, the certifications of the physicians, all that comes together. Accreditation is different than board certification. So I'm board certified. That means the American Board of Pathology has signed off and endorsed my abilities. That says nothing about the office. The office needs to be accredited and get that stamp of approval to add credibility and value to our testimony and to our work we do for the community.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, the work you do for the community. Help me understand, as a living resident, how your services benefit me and my family.
So, first off, we do autopsies to provide answers. We provide answers for families. We provide closure for families. We, in a financial sense, provide information that insurance companies use to provide for life insurance policies. People don't recognize that. And when I harp on turnaround time and we're getting things done in 17 days to 20 days, go to the state of West Virginia, 6-month wait.
Wow.
What if you're waiting on that policy to pay that mortgage? You're going to lose the house, potentially. And it's a nightmare. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, and this is all public knowledge, they just were downgraded in accreditation because they're staffed for 19 and have 12, I think, medical examiners. Mm-hmm. And each medical examiner is doing well over standards. So problems are everywhere. And these are communities that, and really elected officials that have kind of abandoned their medical examiners. You know, we don't produce income. Like, we produce some income, but not enough to offset our costs. So we're a cost center. But if you don't see our value, then you have to accept that bad things are going to happen. And in a world where you're missing 50% of your workforce, that's the medical examiners, if you're not paying a premium in creating a great work environment, people are going to vote with their feet.
Right.
And that's what happened time and time and time again. Volusia County, one of the reasons I applied for this job, and in fact, one of the reasons that out of a group of about 500 practicing people, 16 other people applied for my job, which is unheard of. There's just one in the Panhandle for way more money than I get that only had 3 applicants. So that shows you that Volusia County rolled out the red carpet. And it was competitive. And when I saw the list of applicants, I knew I wouldn't get the job. I didn't think I had a chance. When George Rechtenwald called me to tell me I thought he was kidding. I thought it was a joke. I was like, really? It was interesting. I guess maybe that casual approach to the interview helped me. I'm not sure.
I had the same feeling when George called me. For the record, you're not alone.
I was like, really? I expect him to call. Yeah, you're not on the next list, dude. You're out. But no, it was, hey, we want you to come here. And it took me a while to say yes because I was shocked. I was like, really? Wait, what? I didn't understand. It was actually kind of funny. He and I laugh about it sometimes. So with that said, Volusia County engaged me. They made promises, and they delivered on those promises. And, $18 million later, 20,000 square feet later, here we are at the final piece of the puzzle. There was no way we were going to get accreditation with the old building.
Right.
And truthfully, people have asked me, how did we get accreditation the first time with the old building? We probably had a very benevolent inspector that was willing to overlook it. Right. And they probably didn't come on a day there was a highly decomposed body, because we would have failed. No question asked. In the old building, the HVAC that was really the Achilles heel. We don't need to get into details, but everyone's heard the stories.
Well, I tell you what, on that note, with decomposed bodies, let's take a break. Okay. And when we come back, I would very much like to talk to you about your relationship with law enforcement and your role in investigations and stuff.
Happy to do it, sir.
All right, thank you.
Subscribe to the Volusia County YouTube channel.
And hit the bell icon to know what's happening in your hometown.
There are so many great places to explore.
And things to learn.
With over 1,000 videos available right now, the channel offers something for everyone.
Let's go!
Did you know we have countless features showcasing history, nature, wildlife, and recreation? Subscribe and hit the bell icon.
Or that we live stream important county meetings and workshops where leaders make decisions that can impact our everyday lives. Did you subscribe yet?
Or that we record our weekly radio show, Volusia Today, where we interview staff from the different divisions and departments across our great county, and they discuss the nitty-gritty of their field and expertise.
Go ahead, subscribe.
But that's not it. There's more. Subscribe and hit the bell icon and fully explore.
Score!
Good morning. You're listening to Volusia Today. I'm Heather Belden, along with Michael Ryan, your community information team with Volusia County. We have Dr. Fulcher in the studio today with us. He is the Volusia County Chief Medical Examiner, and we're talking about what the medical examiner means for the community. And we're just about to talk a little bit about your relationship with law enforcement and maybe some other outreach that you do with certain sections of the community.
Sure.
Please tell us.
Sure. So one of the missions of my office is education. So we provide, I think, very valuable education to EMS, fire, law enforcement, high schools, local colleges. I can go on that. Maybe I'll start with that. We just started a Stetson internship. We're looking forward to engaging other universities and colleges in the area with an internship where a college student that's interested in forensic science, medicine, or medical school will spend a semester with us and essentially get some training on becoming an autopsy tech. We provide really, and I'm so impressed with what she's done. My operations manager, Carla Orozco, has really intersected beautifully with the sheriff's office. I am incredibly proud of the real life exercises she does with those recruits. And the value there is, first off, they see a body with me, a decedent. When they get to that crime scene and it counts, like the beat cop, the guy on the road, he's the person or she's the person that arrives first to the scene. Oh my God, there's a dead body. There's bullet holes. There's blood everywhere. How are they going to react? Giving them that experience in my office pays dividends because the first time they need to be a professional, they have a fighting chance to do it. The exercises she does with them are mind-blowingly complicated. They're very convoluted. It's almost like a murder mystery clue in real life. It's fascinating, but every exercise has an incredible, valuable point to be taught. And she's doing that for other areas too. Daytona State's going to get involved, but really the sheriff and his academy were the first to really get involved. So that's law enforcement. I would say EMS, fire, they have come. I can show them things that add value to their practice. If they come to that scene and see your body there and see something's amiss, or perhaps your living body, and I've showed them something at autopsy, that has value. As far as education in the community, we do intersect quite nicely with the local med school, the FSU chapter of the med school, and we'll have 3 to 4 med students a year that will get high-value medical education at our facility. When you speak about who else we intersect with, I'm involved in the Catalyst program for youth in Daytona in the summers. We do lectures at high schools. We will now start doing tours, probably without seeing decedents, obviously, for local high schools. I work quite closely with criminal science classes all across the county. So we look forward to intersecting there as well. And I think I'm forgetting some other part of this question. I'm sorry, Heather.
I'm not sure. I know during the ribbon cutting ceremony for the new facility, the sheriff mentioned your kind of tie-in with the opioid crisis and other drug-related incidents that are happening in Volusia County. Can you kind of explain how you fall into that equation?
Yeah, sure. I think this gets back to my general value to the community. So if you ask me what is the defining characteristic of my practice for the last, let's say, 8 years, I would say fentanyl. Fentanyl, fentanyl, and more fentanyl. It's been profound. We have a chart that we show every time at County Council in my annual report, which is public access. This county, before fentanyl, used to have more motor vehicle collisions than overdoses. That is no longer the case. Now, the good news is after our near doubling of fentanyl overdoses during COVID, we are trending down. The curve was dramatically down at kind of the 2022 time frame. Now that curve is slowly mellowing out, gradual decrease, but the good news is there is improvement. So fentanyl and evaluating these cases really requires a medical examiner. You don't just draw toxicology at the scene and walk away. The interpretation of a fentanyl overdose requires doing an autopsy to better evaluate the natural health of that decedent. Another way of thinking about that is a healthy 18-year-old man will survive much more fentanyl than a 45-year-old man with a terrible heart. if that makes sense.
Well, I feel attacked. Let's
I'm
slow down a
45
little
too,
bit.
and I'm on some blood pressure medication, so I might be right there with you. So don't do cocaine. That's my advice to you, sir. And we see a lot of that, actually, and that's the crazy thing. When you look at our average overdose age, white male 44.
Really?
In Volusia County. White male 44. Now, what tends that up towards 44? We get a lot of 60-year-old overdoses in this county.
Wow.
You think about that generation and how they grew up.
Right.
I'm not going to say drugs are ever good, but certainly drugs were safer when they were growing up.
Yeah.
Drugs are not safe anymore. Even marijuana, we have found on occasion, rare occasion, there are other substances mixed in that. If you're buying drugs on the street in Volusia County, you have no idea what you're buying. Hard stop. No idea. And we see people die of it all the time. And the family says, oh, they only smoked weed. You don't just smoke weed if you buy on the street in Volusia County. You have no idea what you're getting. And it may not be fentanyl. We've got the veterinary tranquilizer, xylazine. It's mixed in, most likely, in labs in Mexico to cut the fentanyl. It's a sedative, has no human use at all. Horse tranquilizer. It's in the fentanyl. We see novel fentanyls on rare occasion. I'm trying to think of other drugs we see. Pretty much mostly fentanyl, cocaine, and methamphetamine. Those are the top three in Volusia County, mixed in various degrees.
Wow. Well, Heather?
It's terrifying, but I mean, it is a point that this is something that does benefit our community to know this, and all the parents listening, and even 44-year-old
white men.
White men, listen up.
Why does everybody look at me, but okay.
Hey, I'm here too.
This is important work, and I know we all appreciate it. I know the council appreciates it, and the facility is really incredible. And you can see by taking a tour of it or just walking in that that high quality investigations are happening here, and it will benefit me in probably sadly one way or another in my life.
Of course, everyone benefits eventually.
Let's take that second break, and when we come back, I'd really like to dig into the building as we wrap up the last couple minutes.
Make the most of your day at the beach. Download the Volusia County Beaches app today. Sign up for real-time notifications on vehicle ramp openings and closings. Find staffed lifeguard towers. Get updates on tides and beach conditions, plus off-beach parking and coastal parks info. Volusia County Beaches app is available for your smart devices at the App Store and Google Play.
We're back. Thank you for listening to Volusia Today. I'm Heather, along with Michael, your community information team. We have our Volusia County Chief Medical Examiner, Dr. Fulcher, in the studio today. We are going to wrap it up here. We just had the ribbon cutting for the brand new facility. In a few minutes, what's the best part? What's the best features?
Wow. Tough call. So many. So I'll kind of take the public walking through. When you first enter, we have a very lovely antechamber and family meeting room. That did not exist in the old building. We had essentially a 4x6 box, essentially, that was a little one chair, I think, a box of tissues, and that was it. Now we have 2 restrooms, believe it or not, for the public. We have a formal meeting room for them to see photos and whatnot. Entering the building, we have more office space. We have beautiful, open, modern office space that supports the technology that we need. We have conference rooms. Probably my favorite part of the building is the educational suite. We have about a 45 to 50 person educational suite that will allow high quality education to occur in that building. The education of EMS, law enforcement, high schools, anyone you can think of will intersect with us there. Going into the back, we have a modern, bright, spacious autopsy facility. The main autopsy suite has 4 stations to do autopsies. The decomp has 2. And then we have an additional tissue recovery suite, which allows tissue recovery companies to do donations, retrievals of tissues of decedents 24/7. So anytime they have permission, we will arrange for them to do that donation. So I would expect we will have a significant increase in donation. And I guess finally you got to go back to the Lodox. The Lodox machine is whole body radiography. It is the gold standard for what I do. I am incredibly lucky to have it. I will tell you, it has saved us work, trauma, all sorts of problems at every turn. We're doing it. I thought originally I would use it in a limited capacity. I'm doing it everyone now. Everyone gets imaged.
Wow.
Why not just do it? It takes 13 seconds and you get so much information. That's high value there. And I like the Sally Port. The Sally Port gives us a place to unload decedents in dignity and to discharge them in dignity.
Yeah, that's a great word.
Yeah, it never happened before. And everything about this is private. Like the sanctity of being dead is valued in this office. We did not have that before. And when someone enters a public building, when you enter that building, you need to get a sense of respect and reverence for the work that happened here. The old building was really kind of a joke in that capacity. It was run down, mid-'80s office space that had been retrofitted a couple times, wall-to-wall carpet, which is a terrible idea in a medical examiner's facility. Yeah, I know. Shocking. And now we don't have those problems. Everything's perfect. I mean, the new building is something that and we had 2 chiefs come look at it, anyone would be happy to work in that. Anyone.
And I'm assuming your staff is just as happy as you are with the new facilities.
Oh, yeah. No complaints. Like I said, every aspect of my practice, every aspect of their practice has been improved. Everyone benefited here. Every single person. No one's complained.
Dr. Fulcher, we normally wrap up the show with a little bit of news, and we skipped through that this time because I wanted to spend a little more time with you. We're down to our last minute or so. Will you please come back sometime in the near future? And again, what you do is fascinating. We were talking a little bit off the air about how TV has impacted your field and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about that. And,
of course.
And just talk a little more about what you do and how your services benefit the overall community.
Of course. Happy to do it, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Heather?
I am obviously, like you said, fascinated is a great word, and I think the work that you do is important. So thank you for joining us today.
I think we learned don't do fentanyl or cocaine this weekend.
Yes, definitely not.
All right. Lastly, we've got State of the County coming up.
Website
Volusia.org.
Sign up, register, and we'll see you on February 14th, Valentine's Day. Love your county, Volusia.
Love it.